Hi, good evening. A warm welcome to our program preview, Transformative Coaching, a revolutionary approach that enables sustainable change, integrating the science of emotional intelligence and positive psychology. I'm Banko, the master trainer for Coach Master Academy, and joining me today is a panel of ICF credential coach across our group, where Coach Masters Academy has formed alliances with. So here with me today is Catherine Wu. She's from Shanghai. We have Catherine Jing from Suzhou, and also Lawrence all the way from German, but he's right now based in Shanghai, and we also have Steve Chang from Beijing. Wow, it seems that today we have a good representative from China, credential coach from different parts of a city from China joining us. And also we have as far as New Zealand, Sarah joining us today, and we really appreciate her time because we know about the time difference right now. It's almost 1:30 in the morning for her. So Sarah, we really appreciate your time joining us. And people from nearby Singapore is Julia Lim from Malaysia, and Piang Sok from Bangkok, Thailand. So wow, we have um, a great representative of coaches from different parts of Asia sharing with us their valuable knowledge and experience about what they appreciate about transformative coaching sessions. So what we want to achieve today is to give everybody a flavor of what exactly is transformative coaching, and what is so unique about transformative coaching, and what kind of value it can offer to people who are seeking for coaching. So the best way for us to start is for me to share with you a case in point. And here we're going to invite some of our credential coaches, to think about some ways that they would know if they are the coach. What is I mean, we will be inviting some of credential coach to give a guess, to share what kind of conventional coaching approach, coaches would take if they met similar case like this. So this is a real a real coaching session surrounding a coach coaching a client which has which is in a career transition stage where the client is considering about leaving his corporate work and then to start to be an entrepreneur, to start his own business. And it was in this moment that the client was getting a little bit stuck in moving forward. It was just about 4 months before the client has left, have resigned from his corporate world, and was putting his hand and feet together to get his business started, where he felt that thing is not moving forward. He decided to call upon a coach to coach him around the situation. So this is a snapshot of a conversation from that coaching sessions. Okay, so the clients say to the coach, "I want to start my own business," and the clients reply that, and then this is a dialogue that the client is talking to the coach. So the client said that I want to start my own business. I know it's not easy, and I'm doing my best with whatever I have. And right now I feel stuck, and I see very little progress for the past few weeks. And it is starting to worry me, whether this is the best decision. And the clients continue to say, every time I met a client, I'm intimidated by them. There's always questions that I ask myself, who am I? What can I give it to them? These are the kind of questions that I'm struggling constantly. And I feel so, and then at this point of time, the client's really, is struggling to put words together. And then finally, he says, well, I know this is not the right thing to do, you know, and I want to overcome it. But the more I think about it, I feel so stressed. And then with a very deep sigh, the clients express, "Whew, I really do not know what to do." Well, I'm going to pause at this point of time, and I'm going to invite, my the panel of credential coaches that's joining us today. If if you are someone who is not trained in professional coaching, imagine that this is what your friend is talking to you. You know, what do you think is people typical response to this person? So let me just check in and see anyone of our credential coach has any comments. Hi, Julia.
Yep.
Yeah, Julia, what do you think if this is if this person is not trained as a coach, if how do you think that this person will usually respond in such a situation like that?
I think if the person is not a trained coach,
Uh-huh.
um, he or she will probably be so eager to help and offer
Uh-huh.
some kind of what experience that she has gone through or he has gone through and
Uh-huh.
beginning to suggest something,
Precisely. Well, maybe if the person is also an entrepreneur, he may also share his or her experience, how he was
Yeah,
start off this business, and then maybe end off with some good advice, what works for him or her.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I think
So
that's
this
typical.
could be the case when you are not a trained coach. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what do you think if you let's toss that around. Let's flip that aside and say that what do you think a typical coach will respond here?
I think most importantly for a coach is to find out what does the person really want out of today's session that is meaningful for the person. So
Uh,
it so he or she becomes very clear also what he's trying to get at. Like,
true.
that's the most important because as a person listening to this whole
Mm,
conversation, you need to help the person you're talking to really find out where they are as first before asking them where do they really want to end up at
yeah.
the end of the conversation.
Yes, true.
Cannot just take it at the face value.
Understand. Try to find out where they are at this current point of time.
Mm.
Okay. Good. Thank you for that, Julia. How about the rest of our credential panelists? How do you think a typical coach will respond when they hear such a situation like that?
Hi, this is Piamsu.
Hey, Piang, go
For
ahead.
the typical coach, I think that they may ask about what happened. Tell me about
Uh-huh.
the situation.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What is the
Yeah,
tell me more about what is happening now, and
precisely.
that's what is the problem? What is the cause? What is
Mm-hmm.
the things that make you struggle like this or things like that? Or the coach may ask for the situation.
True, true. I think this is quite a kind of like a natural tendency for most people to respond. What's happening now? What is your situation like? I think behind those questions was really a very strong sense of trying to find out, what is the cause and what is the root cause here. So that, kind of like the frame of mind is like, if I can know what is happening, probably I should be able to find out what is the cause of the problem. Now, if I can find out what is the cause of the problem and name the problem and label the problem, there is a high chances that we can solve the problem. Okay. Well, I agree with you. But no, Piang, so what do you think this person is trying to do here? You think this chain of thoughts, what do you think he's driving to?
He's trying to figure out um, what was this? What what's next? What is
Yeah,
the action?
precisely.
What should I do? What is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
action
yes. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is kind of like everybody hard when we hear somebody sharing a problem. That is that
yeah,
natural tendency to reach out to the person to try to help the person. Yeah, I mean that motive was kind of like, very, it's a very good motivation. I want to help you, and I would like to know what is your problem, and so that I can help you to solve the problem. Okay, good. Thank you for
yeah.
that, Byung-Soon. How
You're
about the rest?
welcome.
How about the rest of you? Besides, what Julia mentioned, trying to get a sense of what is happening now, or according to what Byung-Soon is finding the what causes the current problem with the intention of trying to solve and help the person to get over the situation. Anyone else? How about Sarah? Do you have any thought about that?
Hi Ben. I do. I I think just adding to what both Julia and Pyam Suk have mentioned about really understanding the current situation for the client. But then after understanding that, obviously we're wanting to help our client to gain clarity
Mm.
and move forward. So I think after that, after finding out the current situation, it's helping your client to gain some clarity.
Yeah, true. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah, for that. You know, as I look at all my years of experience, helping coaches or training coaches to be developing their professional skills. Most coaches would like to focus on like what Biao has clearly mentioned, or even Sarah and Julia, was that they are very tempted to try to help the clients by helping them to get to a sense of understanding where the problem situation, where the root cause is, and with a very strong good heart to want to help them to see how they can fix their problem or solve their problem. So in this typical case, very likely they would like to try to help these clients to figure a way out, a solution of how he can overcome those frustrations. Now, the intention is really looking at how to solve the problem, how to fix the situation. Now, if I'm a coach, this is what I would do. I would like to tackle on the statement that the client say that is, I don't know, because I find these questions very interesting. Now, when someone says, I don't know, what exactly does the person mean? So that is what I would do. I would like to help the clients to get in touch with what exactly is he trying to say, but is not saying when he say, I don't know, because that provide us with a very good window to understand what is that drivers that is causing the tension. I will ask the clients, when you say, I don't know, what is it about I don't know that you do not know? And based on my experience, most clients will say, I really don't know how to answer that question. And then I would pause for a while and then I will share with the clients that there are three different ways of interpretations when you say I don't know. And I'm not sure which one are you referring to. The first one is that your mind is blank and you really, really have no idea. So that's the first interpretation. And the second interpretation is that there is something that you know, but it's just not clear enough for you to express that out. So that is the second possible interpretation. And then I say the third possible explanation is that when you say I don't know, what you actually mean is is that you are saying that you want some space for yourself to sort through your thinking and then to get in touch with yourself so that you know exactly what really that matter most for you. Well, these are the three possible interpretation, and based on our experience, very likely most clients would choose the second interpretation or the third interpretation. And that really gives this conversation a different sense of dynamics. It sort of like shifted the conversation from trying to look at the external circumstances and forcing the clients to really get in touch to his heart of heart to find out what is it that is happening inside that he's struggling to express that out in a manner that he can hear what he's saying. So that for me has a greater impact in terms of creating change. And the questions that we all like change, but the most important question is, what kind of change are we producing? There are two different kind of change. The first kind of change is a change that is a temporal fix, a change that helps to get us over what the current problem situation is. But the second kind of change is that it allowed us to gain an insight of what is happening around us, and that we will walk away with some form of understanding and learning. So what I'm appreciating about this kind of conversation is that it shifts people's minds away from the external circumstances and allowed us to lead from an inside out approach, not so much from an outside in approach. And when we start this kind of conversations, we begin to gain valuable insight into things that we have never thought about. The most common misconception that we have is that when someone is having struggles, we often thought that this person does not know what he or she is doing. Therefore, we need to guide the person on what actions to take. But the choice to tell, teach, or advise someone should not be taken lightly. What people need, or I would say adults or leaders, which is a thinking person, what they need is support in expanding his view around the issue and in understanding the impact of their behavior and actions. And that brings me to the most important part of today's conversation, is for us to understand these two different ways of coaching that is right now available. These two different type of coaching is, the first one is what we often known as transactional coaching. It has many names. It is also called a tactical coaching. Now, what is transactional coaching? Transactional coaching basically focus is about goal setting and achieving. The focus is about getting result by improving the situational context. And what it offers to people is what we call the horizontal learning. Now, for those who are not familiar with this term, which is actually one of a terminology taken from adult learning theory, horizontal learning refers to expanding our skills and knowledge. So transactional coaching is very good in terms of helping people to gain horizontal learning. If people lack of a skills or lack of a certain knowledge, transactional coaching allows the person to get those in a very short time. What it tries to address, often or not, is the situation context. While it gives you fast results, it does not necessarily guarantee that the result will continue to sustain, because it basically focuses on improving the situation, helping you to get over the current problem situation. It certainly has its own strength and its own merit, especially if you want to coach people around things that increase productivity. For example, if you have a team of sales representative and your task is to help them to improve their sales over a short period of time. So in this kind of context, a transactional coaching approach has its has its benefit. It helps people to figure out what knowledge and skills is missing right now, and by helping them to understand what they need to pay more attention to, especially what that works and what does not work. So it gets them fix their current situations within a shorter possible time frame by increasing their knowledge and skills. So this is one aspect of transactional coaching. Now there is another aspect of coaching, and that is called tr- transformative coaching. Now, what is transformative coaching? Transformative coaching focuses on coaching around awareness. Its focus is on deepening the understanding. What are you gaining? What are you taking away? What are you understanding here? What are you making sense here? And the whole idea is to improve the way the person lead themselves. Now, the difference between transformative coaching and transactional coaching is that it does not focus on horizontal learning. It focuses on vertical learning. Now, what is vertical learning? Vertical learning is the ability to think critically. It emphasizes on the thinking pattern. It emphasizes on understanding what is your thinking behind your thinking, what is your belief systems, what is your perspective. So it brings coaching to a different dynamics altogether, where it looks things from an inside out approach, whereas in transactional coaching it often looks at things from the outside in approach. Okay, so these are the two very different way of coaching, and today we like to focus on. So now we know that this transformation coaching is about deepening the learning. We like to have an understanding on what is so unique about transformative coaching. Now, transformative coaching is not the same as initiating a typical challenging conversation. It is a way of coaching where it is clear that the shift in perceptions or a sense of self would be helpful to the person. The goal here is to reduce the reactivity in order to broaden the perspective to see the situation in a different light that results in heightening the awareness and deepening the learning. Now, you need to understand this very important concept about reactivity. When we say reactivity, we are not saying that in a very negative term. We are saying that people are responding to the things around them on an everyday basis. Look around us. Look around our life. We are being bombarded by many information, and we are busy trying to attend to many things, to our words, to our thoughts, getting things done, trying to move on in life. While we are doing that, our brain, learns to protect himself by choosing to focus on things that is immediate and process that automatically. Well, that is very helpful for us to do the things, to be able to do multitasking things, but it comes with a heavy price. We doesn't take time to try to understand why are the things we are doing it. In other words, there is a danger for us to get into autopilot. And you understand, when we are in autopilot, we sometimes just don't see things as it is. We just simply do it until someone actually calls us to pause, and then we take stock about what is happening, and that is very valuable. We begin to recollect and connect. Okay, what is actually happening to us right now, so that we can better calibrate ourselves and then renavigate in a manner that allow us to be more choiceful in terms of the decision we are making. So that is what we try to do, to reduce reactivity so that we can be receptive, to be in a state of mindfulness, to understand that this is what we want and this is what we are doing, and that is not helping us to get the result. And that's why there is this word called blind spot. So in our reactivity state of mind, we are really blind to our blind spots, and that is very dangerous. Especially those who are drivers, you understand how dangerous is it for you to miss your blind spot. And what I'm appreciating about transformative coaching is that it gets people into a space where they can be less reactive and more receptive to what is happening around them to get a sense of a better reality. And with that sense of reality, they can truly unleash their creativity. So, what we are offering to people through transformative coaching is to enable people to discover, create, and unveil a new and more empowering reality, the way they are seeing the situation at their own term. So instead of trying to define what reality is for people, we ask our clients questions that help them to dissect their mental construct and then to provide reflections to evaluate what they are thinking or seeing. It helps them to think deeply for themselves. And what we want is ready for people to think for themselves. And the most difficult part of the thing to do is really to think. But that is the most valuable part, is that people is able to think. That is why leadership is so expensive, because leaders are people who think. So through transformative coaching, we are stimulating people thinking, and it's out of those thinking that we can't understand things better. So it expands our view around what is true and what is possible. It is not problem solving process focused on just brainstorming solution for difficult situation. It is awareness, expanding. It is awareness expanding process that focuses on perceiving a situation differently, so that a more sustainable change can happen. And it is my firm belief change is sustainable because there is learning. Now, if you want change to be enduring, you want change to be to repeat again, there must be some learning behind. And that's what transformative coaching is all about, helping people to get a sense of deepening their learning as to what is it that you are seeing right now as we reflect those your thoughts back to you. So in a nutshell, transformative coaching is evocative because the interest is to increase self-awareness. And what we referring to here about self-awareness is a non-judgmental awareness of what is happening in the present moment. Understanding this, transformative coach listen to the way people tell their stories, curious to find out what really matter most for them, and then to ask them empowering questions that broaden their perspective, to calibrate and then to align them so that they can take actions, towards their intentions. Okay, so wow, it's a big stuff, a lot of things that I just mentioned. And I'm going to just pause for a moment at this point of time and bring it back to our panel of a credential coach. Is there anything else they felt that I have left out and they would like to add on? So anyone would like to share? Hello? Wow, it seems that it's pretty quite silent.
Hi,
Hi,
it's Piam
Piansu.
Suk again. Yeah,
Yep.
I would like to share about the before I get into the transformative
Uh-huh.
coaching process. I used to um, set my intention when I do coaching of trying to uh, help the client to solve
Uh-huh.
their problem,
Uh-huh.
and have a very strong intention to get things to uh, uh, let him or her to solve those problems and
Uh-huh.
make it resolve. So it came out that It's the tone of the
Uh-huh.
tone of the coaching session is not just like a coaching. It's just like I told them to do this, that, those, or I
Uh-huh.
teach them to do this, that, those, and
Yeah.
using my own experience as the
Uh-huh.
base.
True.
It's not bring their new knowledge or deepening learning, but
Precisely.
just share my experience, and then just, okay, you do this, do that, do those. If
Yeah,
I were
yeah.
you, blah blah like that. So that's my experience.
Precisely. And I think it create a very strong set of dependency because I don't know. So if you tell me, I will just do, and I think it's a good idea, I will just do it. So it becomes sort of like you say I do. It's kind of like a worker kind of mindset, and it creates a kind of like a dependency of not really thinking deeply or critically over the situation. And I think what I'm really appreciate about transformative coaching is that it is not helping, it is preventing people to become lazy in their mind, because the question that we ask really cause them to think. and and those are really building muscles, brain muscles, for them to learn to be a thinker for themselves, rather than just simply depending on some good answers, and and just do them. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, thank you, Piangsu, for that perspective. How about the rest of you? What is your experience? What are something that you notice really works for you, as you use transformative approach to coach your client?
This is Catherine. I think for the transformation coach during
Mm-hmm.
my past experience, most is really focus on the transformational coach instead of transactional coach.
Uh-huh.
We try to focus on that is the inside out, that is to deepen to find out the inside pattern,
Mm.
then lead the clients to thinking about what's the real pattern that impact our real daily life and
Mm.
life working.
Precisely.
So, we really to let them to deepen think about the past pattern. Some parts of the clients they do will say, I don't know, I had never think out before. They
Mm.
sometimes will to say, I don't know what now I need to do.
Mm.
But actually, what I experienced is most of clients they do will benefit from our transformational coach. They start to think about that, and 80% of the clients they will to reflect their thinking and to soon to bring up their new ways and new insights they had never think before at immediately. So
Yeah.
so this yeah.
Yes, and I'm often very surprised I mean, I'm always amazed at the surprise, when you try to help people to think, from an inside out approach. Those answers, those response that you get was really not within what you have predicted. And that's was really what makes this whole coaching journey so enjoyable, is that we really do not know what is there until we talk about it and until we reflect about it. And I think that is really a hallmark of what transformative coaching offers to people, is that sense of creativity. It comes from a point of that I really don't know the answer, but as you ask those questions that allow me to search and reflect and to ponder about, those response is not a standard answer. It's kind of like you can feel people owning, those response, as was like a aha moment for them to realize, hey, I never think about that, but now when you ask the questions, it sort of makes sense for me. And that is the kind of energy that helps to make change that is sustainable. Okay, so that's what I'm appreciate. Thank you, Catherine. How about Sarah? Is there anything else you'd like to add on here, Sarah?
Hi, Ben. Yeah, so I think in regards to transformative coaching, it it enables us as coaches to get to a much deeper level with our
Yeah.
clients, and just in regards to the I don't know client, they, you know, in my coaching sessions, often, people find it easier to say, I don't know, I don't know.
Yes,
And when you can really kind of help them uncover what
yes,
that means to them, it
precisely.
is, you're right, it does really enable them to
Yeah,
reflect and go through that
precisely.
learning
Mm,
process. And that's the
yeah.
important part, the
Agreed.
learning.
Yeah. Rather than providing the answer to what they say that I don't
Yeah.
know, trying to help them to sort of like get an answer to those questions that they do not know, we really help them to look deep at that statement they made.
Mm,
I don't know what does that mean here, and sort of like get them to really think in a very different way. That's what I really appreciate about transformative coaching. It's not provocative. It's very inviting. It's use
mm,
a very evocative approach to gently help the person to understand what is it that they are thinking about, which most people don't have the time to think about what they're thinking about. You know what I mean? But what makes human powerful is that we think we are a thinking creature. It's out of our thinking that we create things that surprise us and amaze us. Well, thank you,
mm.
Sarah. Thank you. How about you,
Thank you.
Julia? Is there anything you'd like to add on? What are you appreciating about transformative coaching? Hi, Julia. Are you still there? Well, Julia is not responding. So let me just move on to Lawrence. Lawrence, how about you? Anything you'd like to add on?
Um, yes, I think one thing I very appreciate about transformative coaching is that it's truly client centered.
Mm,
So,
precisely.
yeah, if you take a more consultative approach, you have your own agenda, you have your own thoughts, you have your own beliefs, and
Mm,
you are not really with the client. And with transformative coaching, you have really to let go and focus 100% on the client and
yes.
figure out what is his agenda.
Precisely. And it's all about that relationship between the coach and the clients that when it's anchored into a state that is trust, where both of them understands just based on that relationship itself, it is therapeutic, it is powerful. Well, thank you, Lawrence, for that perspective. How about Catherine Wu? Do you have anything that you'd like to add on? What are you appreciating about transformative coaching?
Yeah, sure. Probably I will start from my experience with transactional coaching. Normally, transactional coaching can help our clients, to solve the issue that about the iceberg, such
Mm,
as the behavior issue or the performance issue, because it really touch something that can be fixed in a quite fast speed. But
mm,
anyhow, I found too often when we use transactional coaching, people may very likely, to go back to old pattern of behavior, or they
mm,
may encounter similar issues very soon.
mm,
That's why but when I try to use transformative coaching, I really found this helpful because we support the clients, to look up the things behind the iceberg, such as
mm,
the belief, assumptions, values, all kind of things. Once these things are thoroughly discussed or reframed, their change, their behavior change or performance change will be long-lasting or sustainable. That's
understand.
my personal experience. Yes.
Good. Thank you, Catherine. Well, we have one person who had posted a question, a very good question, and we will get back to that question shortly. Good. Now, right now back to our discussion right now. So, in this transformative coaching, you know. And also, sorry, I just missed a slide here. And let me just quickly sum up, what transformative coaching is. I saw Steve is on mute now. Steve, do you have anything to add on before I move on?
Nothing more because a lot of the coach has said clearly. I just one more appendix. The transformative coaching is very scientific. It has the clear process, and he's supposed to the client to get their awareness, clarify, and make choice themselves. Okay.
Thank you, Steve. So let me sum up what transformative coaching attempt to do here. So transformative coaching is about coaching to deepen the learning and heighten the awareness. It is a conversation where you seek to make an impact, where you engage the client's commitments and action. A conversation where you speak and listen from a total commitment to cause a person to success, where people see new possibility and break through barriers. It is a facilitative dialogue where it provides the kind of feedback that will rip the blindness off. So at this point in time, I'm going to open to time to some question and answer that I'm sure that some of you may have some question in your mind that you would like to seek clarification or any comments in particular. Okay, so anyone would like to, Hendrik, I saw that you have a question. You posted a question. Would you like to use this opportunity to ask your question? Okay.
Hello, Ben. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
That's great. Hi.
Where are you
No,
from, by the way, before we start?
Online.
Good. Where are you?
No,
Where are you
I'm here in
from?
Singapore. I'm
Oh,
a
okay.
Danish living in Singapore.
Great.
No, I had a question which I sent over to you, which was in terms of what you said at the very beginning. It's actually only a small detail, but I was just stuck on your statement that you really want to find out the root cause in a coaching process. And I struggled a little with that because to me, that's not really so important.
Mm-hmm.
It's much more important to work out together with the client what the potential solution is. We are not becoming psychologists by being coaches. So I think we should focus on the solutions rather than on the root causes. How do you see that?
Yes. Well, I think, Henry, thank you for raising that. And I think it worth a little bit of clarification. A root cause for me is a window. I'm not interested in what causing that root cause. Listen to the statement very carefully. Now, a root cause is a window. I'm not interested in finding out what causes the root cause. I'm more interested what is the thinking behind that root cause. Does that make sense for you?
So actually you're looking for the values, beliefs, whatever.
What is supporting that? What is making that true? What is holding that, what is holding that true for the clients to believe in that? So that is some thinking around that, which is the clients has not truly get in touch with, because the clients at that point of time might be reacting or responding to the circumstances, and that circumstances causes a trigger or causes a punch hole in that context. So I'm not interested what is the root cause behind that punch cause that causes it to leak and stuff like that. I use that as a window to help the clients to unpack everything so that they get a sense of, oh, this is my thinking behind that. And then using that as a platform to lead them on to another deeper layer to help them to understand what is it that, as they're saying that, what are they discovering that is important to them. So that I felt that has more value in terms of really focusing on the solution and moving on forward. We will still in the end get back to the same solution, but I think when people had the time to anchor that solution on a value, on what they honor and what they see as important, it gives it much more sustainability to last. So that's the point that I'm looking at.
So just to summarize it, so I'm sure I'm getting it right. So when you're saying root cause, actually you're talking much more about the behavior.
Behavior, yep, it could be. What behavior is one of those things. Anxiety that causes some form of emotional expression is also can be considered as another windows of opportunity that can be seen as a root cause. I mean, finding out the root cause.
Okay. Thanks a lot for
Thank
elaborating on
you.
that.
Thank you. And we have another person, Tanya, who has just raised her hand. Tanya, do you have a question or a comment for us?
Yes. I have
Good.
a question.
Well,
I
Tanya, where
want.
are you from first?
I'm from Thailand.
Well, somebody cup.
Sorry. Yes. I would like to know how long does it take for one coaching session to make it effective for average time?
Again, Tanya, I'm not able to understand your question. Would you like to restate that again?
Uh, I I just I'm not. I would like to know that how long does it take for one coaching session in your
Mm,
experience? You
I
use your coaching session to make it effective. How long does it take?
understand. What's your
Like
experience? Have you had any experience of do you have any experience being coached before?
yes,
Yes, and
yes.
what is your you know what do you think?
Uh, it depends on the client and this depends on the story.
Yeah.
Sometimes uh, Uh, for me, sometimes it takes hour, but I
Wow.
think hour is made too long. I think that
Mm.
to make it effective, we should take shorter time.
Precisely, and I felt that's why at Coach Master Academy we really value the mastery in coaching, and we believe mastery in coaching is like any sport athletics who go to the gym to exercise. The more you spend your time in conditioning your body, you can do more, and then your recovery are much faster because your body are well conditioned, and that allows you to be extremely effective and efficiency. So again, back to your same question, it is not depending on the coach, on the clients, but on the mastery in coaching, and those skills can be acquired. And based on my experience, a typical transformative coaching should happen within 30 minutes, because anything longer than that is draining away valuable mental resources that doesn't give enough capacity for the brain to find the shift. So it has to be contained within 30 minutes. Is that
30
helpful for
minutes
you?
for one coaching session for in your experience.
Yes, it has to contain within 30 minutes.
Wow, in 30 minutes, and the client find the solution, right?
The shift, the shift in the thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. So that has to have contained within 30 minutes. As you have mentioned clearly, if it goes too long, it becomes very, very draining.
Mm.
Mm.
Even though we just meet the client for the first time, the first coaching session only 13 minutes, right?
So when I say 30
You
minutes,
cannot do that.
yeah. So when I say 30 minutes, I'm referring to the actual coaching conversation. But there are also other pieces like greeting each other, having small talks, getting comfortable, and doing some wrapping up. Those things are not, I would not consider them as the actual time for coaching.
So you mean that we have conversation before coaching?
Yes, yes. Those little small talks, and I won't consider that as the coaching conversation.
So if we include the time for conversation, the overall is how long does it take?
Well, I think it's about 40 to 45 minutes. Some I think will ideally within 1 hour.
Okay, I see.
Okay. Thank you.
I have uh, I have I have two more
Oh,
questions.
go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead.
Okay. The second one, I would like to know how different between life coach and transformative coaching?
Wow.
I'm not sure.
That is a tough question. Let me just pose it to the credential coach. Hello, my panelists of credential coach. Anyone would like to try to attempt to answer Tanya's questions? What's the difference between life coaching and transformative coaching?
I might give it a
Go
go.
ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
So I actually think that through transformative coaching, you can life coach, but you can also life coach through transactional coaching. So I think in terms of life coaching, it is a personal type of coaching where either of the two methodologies can come into play. I think it depends on how the coach has been trained.
Mm, true. Does that answer your question, Tanya, or you need further clarification on that?
Do you have any other opinion?
Sorry, we are not understanding, Tanya.
Yeah. I'm not quite clear yet.
Oh, okay. Well, you can imagine transformative coaching as a bigger umbrella, and under the transformative coaching, you have different, very specific coaching niche, like life coaching, wellness coaching, purpose coaching, and whatever that is. So you can't. Life coaching can also be transformative. It can also be transactional in that sense.
So you mean that life coaching is a part of transformative coaching?
Mm,
Yeah,
No,
right?
it's just a different way of approach. One is tend to be much more focusing on fixing the situation. The other one is more focusing on getting the meaning. So a life coaching, as what you have referred, is just a niche, a kind of services that you deliver to your client. It's like what we call transformative coaching is fruits, and then life coaching is apple, and executive coaching is a banana. Wellness coaching is grapes. So they are all called fruits, but then you can further categorize them either by their those have skin or those without skins, those have seed or without seed. You can further divide them. So I don't see there's a need to really draw a very thin line to separate what they are.
I understand more.
Mm. And what's the last
Uh,
question?
my last question. Is it possible for you to give like some example of coaching question?
Well, there are a lot of
I
coaching questions. I'm not sure which one are you looking
I
for.
understand the concept that you explained before, but I'm not sure. When if I attend uh, this course, is it
Uh,
a structure of question or a step or a process or something like that? Uh, I would like you to make me more clear about this.
Okay, I think I will just give you some example, just one example of what I call a powerful question, so that you can see the difference between uh, transformative approach and a transactional approach. A transactional approach is the coach will ask things like, what are you getting out of this situation? So because they are focusing on the external circumstances. Now a transformative coach would like to ask questions like, what are you becoming? See the difference? Got it?
Mm,
So that is where the different way the questions are being phrased. But we are trying to say is that you just need to understand that transactional coaching is about helping people to get their situation fixed and solved, while transformative coaching is helping people to understand meanings and deepening the meanings and values based on their circumstances. Okay.
mm.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm going to
Okay,
let you
thank
go
you.
now because there's two other questions. We have Shu Yong asking a questions about how about group coaching. So I'm going to put Shu Yong into the into I'm going to unmute her. Just a minute. Oh, I'm facing some technical challenge here, trying to find. Okay, here it goes. Now, Shuchong, would you like to ask that question because I have really no sense where what are you looking at here? Hello, Shuyong. Hello, is that Shuyong?
Hi Ben, it's Shi Yong
Oh,
actually, but
Shuyong. So sorry.
It's actually Pui Shi. Yong is my surname. I'm Samantha.
Oh, oh, Samantha. So sorry. I did.
It's okay. Sorry, I posted because I thought my mic wasn't working. So
Okay. So
I
what's the
think it's
question
working.
for us?
Okay. Because just now we were talking about the time frame
Mm-hmm.
for coachings and stuff. So I was wondering to get some pointers from the panel. What would a good time frame for a group coaching of like 3 to 4 people? Because I currently have a group of them whom I've moved from an hourly sessions for like I think we've done probably like about 8, 9, 10 sessions of that 1 hour, and the balance 5 we're trying out 30 minutes. And I do agree with your point earlier that 30 minutes actually do work very very well. It hits the note. The transformative coaching, where the what was that keyword that you used just now? But that was true. They actually get the idea what was supposed to be sent to them in the discussion. So really 30 minutes was really really good for each and every one of
Mm.
them. But I was wondering if for group, what would
Mm.
your best suggestion would be?
Well, I think we need to understand the dynamic that is at work right now when you're dealing with an individual and when you're dealing with a group of people. The dynamics are very different. And because
Okay.
of that, it does restrict how you can enable the shift at the collective level.
Okay.
Okay, it's not that it's not possible, but you're trying to create a shift at the collective level. We therefore will be a very different kind of experience from an individual one-to-one session.
Okay, because currently what I'm doing is I guess it's more towards executive coaching. I hope it is. I don't know if it is, but we've been focusing all on leadership theories, mindset change theories, yeah, those sort of thing. Only once in a while, if they really feel very stressful, I do a little bit of life, but not so much because I don't think I'm really good in that.
Mm, mm. Well, at the group
So
setting, my experience was that it's really very challenging to get to the layer of the emotional drivers. It
okay.
can move to the level of values, the collective
Mm.
values systems is
Okay.
possible. But to get beyond that, because as a collective individual, there is only what we call organization climax. It doesn't have what we call organization emotions. You see the
Mm,
difference there? But as an individual level, you can go one layer down to understand the emotional drivers because it makes sense for an
true.
individual. But compared to a collective, it doesn't
Mm,
has what we call climax.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so that is a
Mm,
difference. But but it still can happen at a group level where we call it LO, learning organization, where it's a collective learning. What is the collective thinking, and collective patterns, as the various individual gathers together to talk about the topic. What is the patterns that brings everybody together? So that aspect of
okay.
still is possible to happen. I mean, it's still possible to deliver at a at a group level.
Okay. Okay.
Got it? But the thing that you can see, that collectively as a group, if you are able to use a much more transformative approach, it really truly deliver what LO is hoping to achieve. The learning organization, the learning component part. What
Mm-hmm.
are we seeing collectively, and what are we discerning about the undercurrents that is hidden, and allow everybody to sort of like label the devil You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that is
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
collective good thinking values. And you can see most organization love this kind of session compared to a consulting approach where they try to find the root cause.
Yeah.
It get very
Correct.
draining and it really, kills. I mean, it has a room for that, but it is not life. It is not giving life.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's not.
Because before me, they apparently they've tried that approach before, and yeah, that was what happened. And they were, because these people are all quite old timers. They've been in the company for at least 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. So a transformative approach has that flourishing aliveness as people gets to see things and get in touch. It brings them alive compared
Mm,
to trying to fix things and solve things and try to resolve things. Okay,
okay, okay.
thank you.
Um, sorry, Ben, because just now Catherine, I think she clicked on my question and said she would like to answer it. I was quite,
Okay, sure, no problem.
I
Catherine,
was wondering what she has to say.
good. Catherine, anyone would like to answer back to the question that uh Samantha has posted? Hi, Catherine.
Uh, Samantha, you're asking me?
Yes, Catherine. I don't know if I saw it. Was it your name that you clicked on it? I mean, just a sharing
uh,
of views if you don't mind. Yeah.
yeah. I like your question very much. Whether transformative coaching work in group coaching context.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, I would agree with Ben that it's more difficult in group context because when in individual situation, it's how to say that. To support the team to find their normal behavior patterns, their group assumptions, or their group beliefs, it's could be quite tough.
Mm.
But interesting things might be sometimes as long as one of the person start to realize something new or start to get some awareness, the speed to spread the awareness to group could be very fast.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, but I'm still on the way to find out the secret how to
I
find the
think
way.
I'm far
So
behind you, so it's
I don't
okay.
have so much to say.
Good. The secret here is to find the catalyst and not the distractor.
Yeah,
Okay,
agree.
just like emotional
Exactly.
drivers, in terms of individual, it's easier to isolate because it's within the same frame. But when it's grouped together, there is collective frame. And as a collective
Yeah.
frame, what we want to achieve is a nominative frame that will catalyze the whole thinking pattern. And so it requires a lot of control because you need to isolate distractor, which is
Mm-hmm.
some individual members may have a negative reaction, which is not actually what the norm is. It's just a personal response to the situation that the person is hurt or angry or disappointed. So you need to manage that and isolate that away, or to find the ideas or to use that distractor as a way. Is that something that you can capitalize upon that gets everybody to learn? Okay, so that is that constant balance of finding the distractor and isolating the distractor and finding the catalyst, because what we want is normalize the thinking patterns as a collective. What is the views, what is the values, what is it that they are honoring at that level? Okay, so it's trying to really make subjective matters into objective perspective. So that's the secret behind that. Since Samantha has made that request.
Okay. I
Okay,
think I'll drop from 4 to 2% now. Easier to handle.
thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Ben.
Good. So I think there's no more other questions. Let's us move on right now, and we still can have a question answer later on. So back to I mean, we talk a lot about transformative coaching, and I thought it might be very helpful at the end of the day is to share with you guys how you can have transformative coaching conversation. In Coach Masters Academy, we develop our own proprietary coaching technology. It's called the Awareness, Clarity, and Choice Conversation. And using this awareness, clarity, choice conversation, you can acquire the coaching, transformative coaching skills to help people to create and hold the space to help people shift their thinking and deepening their learning. You learn how to anchor yourself, which is really the key. You as a coach, you are the catalyst. You bring the atmosphere into the conversation. You set the pace. You set the flow of the conversation in a way that allows the clients to deepen their learning. So for that to happen, you learn how to anchor yourself in your own presence, where you can exercise out of that presence. You exercise attentive, active, and deep listening. So you can see one thing that I really love about transformative coaching is that it is not about what you do to the clients, it's about your own transformation. That as you want to bring that transformative shift for other people, it forces you to learn to connect to yourself, so that you bring up that presence to create the kind of conversation. So at the end of the day, who is the beneficial? It's you, the coach, because you learn to listen. You learn to truly listen, and it's no longer something that you do. It is something who you are, because to be able to truly listen, it is a virtue. It is a value that you honor, and that has to do a lot with who you are, your character. So transformative coaching forces the coach to be truly human, in a sense, to learn to listen. And how I wish that the world will be a place where more people truly listen to what people is saying. And then you learn how to ask empowering questions, questions that stimulate thinking, questions that provoke, challenge, that helps to evoke clarity, awareness, and understanding. So you can see that there's a lot of skills involved here. Besides just the methodology, there's a lot of competency and capability that you need to learn and acquire. As what we always mention in our class, these are all the muscles that you need to go to the gym. The moment you train and build those muscles, you are in a better conditions to do something more efficiently. So that is what transformative coaching about. So in closing, for those who are interested to find out how, in closing, I like to leave this thought to you. Okay. And this thought is: nothing limits achievement like small thinking, and nothing expands possibility like an unlashed imaginations. This is a quote by William Author. The truth is obtained like gold, not letting it grow bigger, but by washing away everything that is not gold. And that's what transformative coaching does, is to peel off those layers of rocks that is not gold, to remove that so that it finally reveal the true gold that is hidden by those rocks. So that is what we enjoy about transformative coaching. And if you are interested to find out where you can get those training, Coach Masters Academy is present in most part of Asia, and we had a very good lineup in this last quarter. So these are the foreign schedules where you can attend the training. We had it in Bangkok, New Zealand, China, Malaysia, Singapore, and Philippines. So if you need to get more information, or you want to get in touch with us, please email us at info@coachmasteracademy.asia. And we are always here to assist you, because it is our vision to inspire positive change through mastery coaching. And that is what we deliver in transformative coaching. And with that, thank you for your time joining us today. We hope that you find our session today meaningful and helpful. So I'm going to stop the recording right now. And if you have any questions that you'd like to ask, we will continue on from here. And our panel of coaches will still be available